knocked, and ready to rock.
Well, just to give you a quick recap of what we've already covered on this segment, the first week we talked about how to properly press your bow and how to use a bow press safely. The next thing we did was we replaced the strings and cables with a custom set that we chose. Then we went ahead and properly synchronized our cams and got our cams in the correct position. Now this week we're going to adjust the poundage to our bow. And this is important because every archer needs to shoot a pulling weight that they can manage. You want to be able to raise your bow to the target and draw your release hand back to full draw without having to do a lot of movement. As a bow hunter, this is especially important. If you're having to raise your bow way in the sky to pull it back, then that's an indicator that you're pulling too much weight. So to check our weight, we're going to use a bow scale. I prefer the new digital scales. They're much more accurate, but you can also choose an older style spring scale. What we're going to do, since we haven't yet tied a knock and loop onto our bow yet, because that is going to be for a later segment, we're going to need to have a temporary loop on our string just so that we can pull it back with our scales so that our scale isn't sliding up and down our string. To do that, all you really need to do is take a small piece of loop material and tie it into a circle and then loop it through itself so that you have about a 1-inch pulling loop. And I like to snug that tightly directly in line with the hole that your arrow rest will mount to your bow with. Then, once we've pulled it back and we've determined our poundage, if we want to lower it, we're going to turn the limb bolts counterclockwise using a set of Allen wrenches. You're going to want to make sure that you back out each tiller bolt equally, because if you adjust one more than the other, then you're going to change the actual tiller of your limbs, which in turn also changes your cam position too. So you're going to want to make sure that you back them out evenly if you have to, or later if you decide to shoot more weight, tighten them equally as well. One thing to keep in mind is that you want to make sure that you know what the maximum amount that you can back your tiller bolts are, because each company has a slightly different amount. So you might want to check with that, because if you back it out too much, they can come all the way out. So to be safe, make sure you check with the manufacturer to see what the maximum amount of turns that you can take off that bow. Once you get your poundage set to what is really comfortable and easy for you to shoot, we're going to be ready for a next step next week.
Knocked and ready to rock.